This is a Frank podcast.
Party. Science. Party. Science. Party. Science, everybody, let's hit it.
Welcome back to the Party Science Podcast. I'm Dr. Joel, a real-life academic researcher with a PhD in chemistry. And trust me, my students have no idea I'm doing this. Joining me is the lovely Courtney Dawson, who has no PH, but an expert in the D.
Okay, relax. Let's backpedal it there. But it is true. Hello.
And we have a fantastic episode for you today because we've been getting a lot of requests for this one, but we're going to be talking about cannabis. So to do that, we actually brought in our resident cannabis expert, David Correos.
Hey, yeah, I love weed. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Yeah. That's a good start, actually. That we have to let everyone know that you are an expert. So you're.
I love it so much. If this is a confession, I'm doubling down. I love weed.
As you may be able to tell, David is a recreational expert.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Never smoked up in a science lab.
I haven't either, but I have published on cannabis a little bit. So that technically makes me an expert.
If you get like a beaker and you put a lighter underneath the beaker and then you like push the bud into the glass, does that melt the keef on it to then, can I smoke that out of the beaker?
Well, it depends on the temperature.
Temperature, yeah, because that'll be like a vape, eh?
Yeah.
Just press against hot glass.
You better make sure there's not any residual chemicals in the bottom of that beaker, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, might get poisoned.
Definitely.
But also,
imagine lighting up on using a foggy beaker. Like, imagine you see like fog in the bottom. Go, I'll press it against that.
well, okay, let's go. What are we talking about, Joel? Weed?
We are talking. Yes, we're going to talk about weed today. We're going to talk about what maybe it can do for you and what it can't do for you. So there's a lot of people talk about weed a lot. It's a big deal. You see a lot of headlines, cannabis cures cancer. Is that true? What does that mean?
Is that the study that we're looking at? Is it a cancer related?
It is.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I thought it was going to be like fun weed topics.
This is probably the most depressing route you can go with weed.
I thought it was going to be like, how much bud can you fit in a grinder? Like, and have it be I wanted to know how much bud I could put at the top so that when I grind it, it fills right to the top and doesn't leave anything through the top of the grinder.
Have you experimented with this?
Yeah, I think I could chuck a whole 50. I think I'd chuck a 50 bag into
You could put a 50 in a grinder, in this big grinder, normal grinder.
Yeah, because it was like 2 grams, 2.5 grams of weed.
What?
And then you push it in. I can push it in. I don't know if you guys have ever done the thing where you have to like really push it down and then it doesn't really grip right on the sides of the grinder. And so when you grind it through, it doesn't go all through.
Yeah. But instead, we're going to talk about cancer.
Well, we can talk various topics related to cannabis. So we can, discuss some of maybe perhaps misinformation around it, which of course historically has been a big deal and why it in this country, in Aotearoa, New Zealand, it is illegal still to this day.
I love that you point that out after me confessing how much I loved it. I thought this was going to be one of those episodes we never say that it's that, but okay. Nah, cool. I'm here. I'm ready to party. Let's do it.
You're saying you don't have a prescription?
I do have a prescription.
So it's not illegal.
Yeah, it's not illegal.
Yeah.
No, I have a prescription. Yeah.
So what do you find cannabis does for you, David?
I find that it is helps me with my back pain.
Oh yeah, true.
I get a lot of back pain. I had a herniated disc, and I had to have it sliced off. So, yeah, but sometimes I get like some like residual pain. But I find that cannabis really helps me with my back pain.
Nice.
Yeah. You're allowed to just say, I just fucking love smoking weed. I just love getting high also. I'd say the big pain. Who needed disco? I love weed because I love to sometimes disassociate in the nighttime and also go to sleep. That's that's why I love weed.
I love that. The sleeping part is sick.
You ever get so high when you wake up, you're still high?
Yeah. I call it being stoned over.
Yes.
Like instead of a hangover, it's like that grogginess. I hate that. Sometimes that grogginess you get like the next morning. Ugh.
Yeah, you want to hear about this study?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we'll just base this off a headline that actually came out where it says cannabis extract triggers death of deadly skin cancer cells.
Okay, and this is from a science website. That's promising.
Yes. So when you see this headline, what do you think?
I think that weed is killing cancer cells.
Yeah.
Yeah, cannabis extracts triggers. Cannabis extract triggers death of deadly skin cancer cells. Break that down for me, Joel. What does that mean?
So cannabis extract. For those not familiar, you can just take flowers of cannabis that contains THC and a lot of other chemicals, cannabinoids, and you can extract that using like a organic solvent or something. You might know cannabis extract is like a hash, more or less, or an oil, like a butane honey oil or something like that, if you've ever come across that. And so what they did is they found that extract killed cancer cells. But when you look at this, you might think, hey, oh man, if I just smoke some weed, I'll be sweet in the summer here.
This kind of like this, the headline makes me feel like it's more like, dump your
Oh,
your,
yeah.
like your
Oil
keef.
on
Rub
dump-
your. So if you lather up with some.
That's what I thought that meant. I did not like because of skin cancer.
Yeah.
This is what's it always has these like mecca headlines that are like, drink 3 glasses of red wine a day and you will never get cancer. And then the next one comes out and it's like, alcohol will give you cancer any amount. And it's like, what does this mean? Like, this is just this headline, but what does it actually mean? What's
Right.
the study that was done for it? Is it real? Is it true?
So basically, what they did is they took this extract and they put it on some cancer cells. And then they looked at basically how well they reproduced. And
Okay, so this was in a lab. This wasn't
is in a
some
lab.
fella
This
just
isn't-
putting it on his skin cancer in his lounge. Yeah.
So reading this, you might think, oh yeah, there's a clinical trial. People with this killed cancer. It's a new treatment. But really, it's nowhere close to that. There is no clinical trial out there that proves that cannabis will kill cancer.
Who did it?
So this was done in a study over in Australia, actually, at RMIT University. And so what they did is as I mentioned, they took some cancer cells in one side. Then they had some other cancer cells. So they had 2 different petri dishes, more or less. One of them, they did nothing to. That's our control. And then the other one, they added this extract to it. And then they just saw how they incubated it and saw how many cancer cells grew. And they found that the one that they added cannabis to, there was less cancer cells in the end than the one where they didn't touch it at all. So they're saying, wow, if we add cannabis to cancer cells, it kills it.
Okay, how many times do you have to do that before the world goes, yeah, okay, that's legit?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, how many times that happened?
So this is what's known as preclinical trial. Okay? So in order for us to know that cannabis would kill cancer, it has to go through 3 stages of clinical trials. And right now, we're not even to the first step where they're using it on humans.
But they're already putting out articles like this, kind of like...
So
Because I read that and I'm like, oh, we're at the end of the we're at the end of the thing.
or we're actually just at the very beginning.
Oh, you've like made me look at Reddit completely. So that's what they mean when they're looking at articles on Reddit and they're like, hey, look at this. This is all preclinical.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you look at this figure, this kind of just shows you. So lab studies, that's what's called preclinical. You need to prove that it works in a lab by using like tissue or cancer cells or something before you can even get it to testing on humans. And so then once you test it on humans, the first thing you want to do is make sure it's safe. So you do a small population and you give them the drug or whatever and make sure that it doesn't cause any harm. So just to make sure that it's safe. And then once it's proved to be safe enough, then you have basically an expanded study, like a proof of concept to see if it works. And then from there, you go on to the third phase, which is where you do a large population to basically find out at the end if your drug is effective.
Okay, so if it's a I feel like I'm learning something for real. So if it's a preclinical trial, have they even tried it out on anyone yet?
No.
Or so that's just a theory of like what they think might happen.
Yeah, exactly. And it turns out if you want to kill cancer cells, there's a lot of things that will do that in a lab. Like you could put bleach in there and it would kill the cells. But bleach is not, or at least currently, not an effective cancer treatment. Do not put bleach in your body.
Okay. So with the cannabis extract, it's I feel like I'm such a dumbass right now. Because it gets rid of it in the test, that doesn't necessarily mean that it gets rid of it in the body the same way that they're kind of promising there.
You just nailed it.
But that's why it's so long. You know, when you see this, you see these articles pop up and you're like, okay, let's go. Let's get it going. You know, let's cure this cancer, man. And then like 10 years later, it's like, what the fuck happened to that oil that was going to get rid of the skin cancer? But it's because it has to go through this exceptionally long process.
Yes. Like, especially if you're going to give it to somebody, put it in their body, you have to know for sure that it's going to work and it doesn't do any harm.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to for sure know it's going to work, but you have to have like a pretty good idea that it's going to work and a pretty good idea it's not going to kill them.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction.
just to make sure we're all on the same page.
So are these things always mentioned in the article when they're written up, or do they withhold that? Are they like how did you find? Does this say? Is this said in the article, or did you have to like find this out from another source?
in the actual scientific publication, it lays it out what type of study it is. But if you read like the news article, that'll be completely different. Like most people just read that headline and be like, all right.
Oh my God, I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, because it's always like, according to this study, and we'll link to the study. Have you ever clicked on the study and read the study?
I do it like once or twice a year just so I don't have to be in that camp.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm skimming.
But then when you're reading, it's like the first 17 words, it's like, I don't know what 4 of those mean. And then you're just going through the article and it's like, and then you feel dumber by the end of it. So I'll just stick to the news article.
You know when you think that your media comprehension's like really good, and then you realize that it's not.
I know, and now we're probably reading these articles. You click on it's probably a study written by fucking AI, and it's not even true.
It's not even true. Yeah.
But this is not written by an AI. This was true. This was a true pre-medical. What is it? Is that what it says? Pre-medical?
Preclinical.
Preclinical. Sorry, well, these classes aren't actually.
Yeah. It's a lab study.
Okay, cool.
So that's the bullshit detector word, right? So if you're reading an article and it's got a big claim, and if it has preclinical, that's where you're like, look at this, like just grain of salt.
I would, basically assume that it is preclinical unless it says otherwise. I would probably take that as a piece of advice.
Ah. And then what would it have to say to prove? It would have to say, this is at the 3rd level.
Yeah, it would say clinical trial, because that's a big deal. That's boom. If you see that, that's like a beacon right into your brain that maybe I should actually read that article.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is awesome. It's really good.
So you mentioned this can take years, like maybe a decade or something. But remember, with the old COVID vaccine, we were able to do it super quick. And that's because there was so much funding. Because each one of these steps, these processes, you have to get new round of funding. You have to recruit a bunch of people to get into your study, which is hard to do. But with COVID, there was a lot of people that were willing and a lot of test subjects that were getting infected and a lot of money behind it. So they were able to do this much faster, basically.
Money.
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 Yeah, labs look expensive. You know, all those little beakers and little Bunsen burners don't come cheap.
Isn't it crazy how like every industry has their own like funding? Like everyone's like that. Like science has their own Creative New Zealand. Isn't it nuts?
It's actually kind of scary. I hope that it's better than Creative New Zealand. Better funded.
Well, it's pretty similar. You have to get your grant application out, fill it out, put your heart into it, send it in, and then they reject it.
Do you beef with other scientists when they get funding and you don't get it?
I mean, that's basically my life.
Yeah. What are the
What's the industry?
What's the industry tea right now? What stuff's being funded?
Comedians just immediate. So what's the gossip?
Yeah, what's the gossip? Oi, tell us. No, just kidding.
No, just kidding. Tell us after.
Tell us all.
But yeah, science very much like the arts. You have to apply for your funding and then deal with constant rejection. So you could be a great scientist.
So what's like the grassroots level of this then? Like, because you know when you can't afford funding, so you just have to do it yourself. Or I feel like this every single step to get to the next level, it's always going to be funding.
Yeah, first like some of these massive stage 3 clinical trials, you have to have some sort of funding. But if you get that far, if it's a drug, for instance, you usually have a pharmaceutical company that'll back you but this is why like biotech companies have some of the highest failure rates in all of startups. It's because there's so many things that can go wrong in each step and you need money to prove sometimes how wrong you were.
I see. You need so much money. It's not really the type of mahi you can go and do like a fundraiser for. No.
You can't do a sausage sizzle.
Can't do a sausage
Sasha
sizzle.
says a GoFundMe.
Can't do a little tour.
Yeah, what does an indie scientist look like? Like, can you just pop off like Dunedin? Oh no! And
It's pretty hard to do like science. So you don't really have a lot of people like doing it in their basement
you
and
can't
then getting published.
Yeah, it's because they don't know how to monetize it on YouTube. If you could make putting together a study interesting, I'd make some money off that.
An indie scientist. Indie scientist probably is someone that works at like a small university that doesn't have a lot of resources or funding, but somehow makes it work.
Yeah,
Games the system.
like basing it around making it about like cigarettes are good for you. Like, get some like sideways funding.
Historically, people have done that, but they do not have a lot of credibility
That's nuts.
in the industry, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
If you were to study cannabis, what study would you do? Like this is David in his basement.
Okay.
Doing his indie science bit.
I'm doing indie science. I would try to prove how much something to do with keef. I feel like keef's a myth. I don't know.
Do you believe in keef?
I have keef. Oh, you know what I really want to know? How little I have to put in to get weed to make me high. So like, is there a way, the step before the lighter, before like combusting it or chucking it in an oven, what's the least amount of work I could do to get the bud?
To get as high as possible.
Yeah, high in a pinch. So let's say I'm like cold, I'm outside, cold day,
Yep.
It's raining, There's no fire around. What can I do? How do I heat it up?
How can I get high off the smallest piece of weed? This is the science project you want to run is like if high school students and their like science fair projects were allowed to do studies on drugs.
I'll be the first science test written on Crayola.
I could just imagine the science fair. Everyone's got like their posters up And then here's David standing next to him talking about getting.
You know those little like fold out cardboard display things at the thing?
Everyone's got cardboard, and then it's me. It's an empty table and a baggie. And we're just going, okay, what do we think? What do we think?
I think that's a valid question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how to MacGyver myself some THC, more or less, is your question. Without a lighter?
Yeah, I want to just find another way to. I just believe that there's another way to activate weed besides heating it up.
So what you have to do with THC, well, most of it is actually in THCA, which is the carboxylic acid version of it. And so what you do is you need to apply some sort of heat. That could be a combustion flame or an oven or a vaporizer. And you need to pop off that carboxylic acid group. So basically pop off the CO2, and then it's the active form, and then boom, you're ready to go.
So if I brought in this test and brought in this thing, scientists can just come up to me and be like, nah. This is actually how it works.
This is actually the answer.
Is that the first level?
That's how you get started with the study. Is you're like, all right, I have this idea. And then you talk about it with people who are like, all right, will this work? And they'll say, no, but maybe if you tried it like this, and then you go into the lab and you test that way, and that's how you become a scientist.
Is this the council? Does the council tell you that?
The council.
Oh, there's that, you know, like the ethical council.
That's a different thing.
Whenever I think of them, I just think of this kind of like scary group of men in cloaks, you know. But it's like, no, the oxidization will not work, and then you have to go back and change my study.
The men in cloaks didn't like my study.
They're coming on hoverboards.
That's what it feels like when you're publishing, because when you, like, let's say this paper, you had this idea, you did the study, you think it worked really well, you thought it was cool, then you send it into the journal, and that's where you have those people in cloaks, faceless reviewers.
And they just slam you.
And yeah, they send it back to you and just tell you how dumb you are, line by line, and you have to fix it before it gets published. That's called peer review, and it's, again,
That's the one.
Peer review.
yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Peer-reviewed studies. Peer-reviewed. Man, I feel like some comics need that, eh? I need to be
You
peer-reviewed.
need to get a cloak and hoverboard.
Dog shit. That'll bomb. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying 3 lines after that punchline that aren't funny?
Back to the drawing board.
You know what's more impressive than 2 ferns and like nominated best comic? Just about peer reviewed by the New Zealand comedy industry. I'd go to that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have much peer review in the comedy industry.
Well, yeah, the audience will tell you.
Yeah. But those aren't peers.
No.
Well,
The group of comedians up the back backstabbing you will no, you still won't know. It will be reviewed, but you won't hear about it. You won't hear about it unless you overhear it in the bathroom while you're taking away. Fuck, that was shit. Or unless you stumble across a group chat by accident that you're not supposed to look at.
Oh, God.
Have you ever overheard someone talking about your set while you're in the bathroom?
Only audience members.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not peers.
Yeah, it's. I think what's even worse is when you hear your friends get peer reviewed from the lineup, and you're hearing them, and you're hearing how the audience feels about their set, and the whole time you're like, "Fuck you, my friend! Like fuck you!
bro.
This is a bad set. It's fine. Stop going so hard."
Or when you get off stage and someone's like, "Oh my god, like David was amazing," and then they see you and they go,
Oh yeah.
"Okay." Oh. Don't give me that pity nod.
Yeah, brave. You're a very brave performer. Yuck.
But I suppose that's the thing in comedy. You kind of know as you're doing it whether it worked or not.
Yeah. We
Right.
don't, yeah. Well, I mean, you'd know if something wasn't, something might blow up in the lab. That's the only way you'd know if it's not working. Or you kill one of your test subjects. It's a pretty harsh review.
Yeah, because that's what you're trying to stop from, is like killing people.
Well, it depends on the study, yeah. But ideally, you do not want to kill someone ever.
Okay. Science question.
Okay, I thought you were going to ask me about killing people.
So, like the guy who discovered penicillin,
Yeah.
I know that story. I feel like that's common knowledge. He had a plate and it was cleaner, and he's like, "Well, moldy, it's clean." Now, why is he allowed to submit that to be like? What did he do there? Did he just send the clean plate to the journal? And we're like, "Why is this happening?"
Well, he found out it worked, and then he was able to isolate the actual compound that did it, or this from this strain of fungi, and was able to show that it worked. He had to show that it worked before he could get it.
And that was preclinical. That would be his preclinical trial.
But by the end of it, yeah, you would have like a clinical trial where you did a huge population and tested it on them.
Right. But that like initial like clean, that's pre.
Yeah. The initial, like, what the heck is this? That would be considered preclinical.
Okay.
So was there preclinical in like ancient Greece and ancient Rome? Like what were they doing? Because I feel like I hear stories from back then and they're just like, this guy was just chilling in a bathtub writing on his body, and then he was like, yeah, I figured out the math thing or figured out the science thing, pulley systems, I don't know. What tests did they have to do to that? Like why could they just do that and everyone's like, yeah, that's sick, but now we have so many rules to...
Well, we didn't have like this exact structure, for instance, but the exact same thought processes still went into it, and they still had to test it repeatedly to make sure that it worked.
Yeah, because like the like formal structures, and I guess you guys are beholden to laws, obviously, with this when you're involving, especially with humans. But like the modern structure of it, how long has that been around?
Clinical trials themselves.
Yeah, like this kind of process of this is how you do a scientific study. This is how you like have a respectable opinion and reputation in science. What, 50 years?
Roughly somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And they find out the hard way. For instance, like phthalimide was a pretty big issue where they had this drug that they were giving to like pregnant mothers, but it actually turned out that a different form of the drug actually gave them birth defects.
Yo.
So and after that, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration put in a lot of rules to what you have to do to prove that your drug is safe for use, for instance. So a lot of these rules kind of come up by bad things happening.
Okay. But then if you're like a supplement company, slanging like, I don't know, moon juice to make you skinny or whatever, then that's not like subject to all this jazz.
It's not covered by this clinical trial regulatory system. And that's crazy that you bring that up, because there's a lot of like CBD oil out there.
Is that legit?
Now that is a question. And there have been a lot of studies on it. And it turns out like the stuff that you'd buy off, I don't know, your targeted Facebook ads or stuff from the internet, like they don't even know what's in it a lot of the times. If you don't get it from like say a doctor or something, it'll be like any dietary supplement where it's not regulated. They don't know what's in it. And in some cases it could even cause harm. So there's been a lot of studies on CBD oil and how it's basically pretty risky.
Is that why the like supplement bros can slang it, because it's not like a controlled substance because it doesn't have THC in it, so they're allowed to just make it whatever.
Exactly.
And brand it as a supplement. Yeah.
So yeah, dietary supplements, that's a whole nother industry. And sometimes they're not allowed to say that, you know, their supplement can treat, cure, or help you with any disease. But yet a lot of those advertisements basically imply it.
Yes.
So
so then the motive there for the business, do they back their shit though? Are they like, yeah, we know that the supplement works, we just haven't put it through the clinical trials because it doesn't need to? Or is it all bullshit and they're like, hey, we're just trying to make money from this?
Well, I can't speak to what their motivations are, but there are a lot of companies that basically get in trouble because they make claims that they can't substantiate. They make claims that it can treat something without going through that clinical trial system.
I just don't understand how you bullshit your way through that.
It's easy. You just write it down, and then people read it.
Yeah, get someone in a crop top and leggings to say that it worked for them, and then
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
slang it.
And then you get a pyramid with people under you, and then they sell your product for you.
It's crazy, like, you know those like pre-workout things, pre-workout. I used to have this one. Someone was like, "Oh, this one made my mate real skinny," and I got it, and it was called Ripped Freak, and it was called Ripped Freak, and the bottle, the container of it was a grenade, and then you rip the grenade thing off before you go to the gym, and I went there. And I felt like I was on 17 ickies at the gym. Like, it was insane. I had to shake so much trying to pull the bar up. Strongest woman alive. And I was like, that's foul. And then because I read the back of it, I was like, what the fuck is in this stuff? Obviously, I don't know what any of these words mean. But what I found out is with these supplements, they don't have to disclose how much caffeine is in it. And it's just like jacked to the hilt with caffeine, and that's what's making you feel like the strongest man alive.
And there's one other chemical that's specifically there to make your skin tingly.
Yeah.
And it's literally I can't remember what. Do you know what it is? Do you know what the
Not
tingly?
off the top of my head.
The tingly chemical. Yeah, you see, there's a certain word that I'm like, if I see it, I'm like, yeah, that'll make me tingly.
Really?
Yeah.
Why does it want to make you tingly? Just to make you feel like it's got some sort of active ingredient in it?
I feel like it's got something behind it that people are like, yeah, but it really is it just makes you feel tingly.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Okay, and then so the cannabis world has its own version of Ripped Freak, and it's called CBD oil.
It's called CBD oil.
Wow.
You gotta read these studies, man. You gotta click those links.
Yeah.
It's
But there is some research around CBD saying that potentially it can treat things. But there's also a lot of research that says, maybe it doesn't really do anything in a clinical sense because there's just so few clinical trials on on these topics, and the ones that they do have are just really small studies. So it's basically kind of still an unknown.
Yeah, never been into CBD oil. What's it? Why would I have something, weed, something that doesn't get me high?
They just took the best parts out, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
True. So true. God.
Spending $80 on a little tiny bottle of nothing.
Truly. Is L-carnitine bullshit, or is that?
What is that?
It's the chemical for making it's apparently supposed to, it makes your body process burn fat more than your food in your stomach.
Sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
I am not aware of any stage 3 clinical trials that have been conclusive on that particular topic.
Because it's wishy-washy, but I like looking, I'm like, how does this work?
Yeah, just get on those Ozempic.
Yeah, Ozempic. Dude. Ozempic's crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm not coming on this podcast. I would rather recommend LSD than Ozempic. Okay, no, I need to shut the fuck up. Okay, I feel like it feels legally saying like a real drug name.
Yeah, it's a real drug name.
Anyway, do what you want. So I'm not a doctor. Do what you want.
You can talk about ickies and pingers. Yeah. That's just what you want. But
okay, cool. Yep. CBD bullshit. Maybe.
Probably. But the problem is it's not regulated, so we don't actually know what's in a lot of CBD oils, which is a problem if you're putting it in or on your body.
Yeah. Okay. What about any fun studies?
About cannabis?
Weed? Yeah.
I mean, there are things that it has actually gone through clinical trials. So, like people that are in cancer treatment, like chemotherapy, chemotherapy is pretty rough on the body. But so they might have like difficulty eating or low appetite. Cannabis has been shown to help people deal with the symptoms of chemotherapy. And then there's also some a little bit of evidence that says it could help, or certain cannabinoids might be able to help people with certain like seizure disorders as well.
Yeah, I've seen that on the news.
So
Seen some anecdotal.
yeah, so there's a lot of anecdotal types of evidence, but the thing is, like cannabis, for instance, which is a low harm drug in the recreational sense, hasn't had a lot of study into it because it's been illegal. It's hard to get a hold of. It means it's hard for researchers to get approval to look at it and actually see what it can and can't, importantly, do, and what the actual effects are. So the legal system has basically slowed down our knowledge.
Right. So now that it's like legal medicinally, some of these trials will be sped up.
So it'll be, yeah, it just makes it easier for more people to study it. And so then we're going to get more and more like preclinical stuff, which will lead to more clinical trials. And we'll basically learn, because cannabis, THC, that's the stuff that gets you high. But there are hundreds of different chemicals in your plant, if not thousands. And so what scientists need to do is figure out which one of those chemicals, which one of those molecules are actually doing stuff to you, and how do we basically control that so we get the right dosage right, so we can actually go to a doctor, have them prescribe it, and have the attendant effects, or a likely chance of having the attendant effects.
And is that why you can go sometimes and be like, oh, this kind of weed does this, and this kind of weed will likely do this?
Yeah.
And the smoke shop?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Break that down. Is that bullshit? Is it bullshit when they're like, these things give this flavor? Is it?
Now that's also a really good question, because you hear about like different strains and different, and a lot of times you'll have like the sativas and the indicas, right? And people are like, man, try this indica. It totally sit you down on the couch, bruh.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, here's this sativa. It'll make you energetic. You know, it turns out when it comes to sativa and indica, there is no statistical difference between the two.
No statistical difference.
Meaning, like, sativas will give you like more energetic head high, and indicas will sit you down on the couch.
Yeah.
There is no evidence
That's true.
that's true.
Is there is there like chemical differences between them? Like in terms of all those little bonds that you're talking about, like the chemical makeup of them? Is there a difference between them?
There is no chemical difference between sativas and indicas.
So when you go overseas and they're like spinning you a yarn of why you should get them like more expensive bud over the cheap, there's no difference. Is it just strength?
That's part of it. Now there is some preliminary preclinical type of lab studies that show that the profile of cannabinoids and potentially some of these like monoterpenes or non-active substances might play effect in the high. So there could be differences like single strain to single strain. So your purple kush could be different than your
Pineapple
Very yum
Express.
yum,
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
something like that.
Yum, yum.
But on the whole, like sativa and indicas, there's no chemical difference on the whole when you talk about all the different types.
Okay.
So to answer your question, I would say most of it is probably bullshit.
And bushweed is worse than indoor weed because of the THC strength, or are they the same?
So bushweed, meaning something that was grown out in the forest or out in nature, versus like hydroponic would be something that was grown indoors in a controlled system. So here's another thing. So when we're talking about doing drugs, you want to know what you're taking. And so if something was, let's say, grown outdoors, there's a higher risk of using things like pesticides because you're out in nature. There's a lot of different things that could eat your crop. People want to protect it. So that's pesticides, as we know. You don't want to be smoking those. You don't want those in your body. So that's a risk. And also like soil content. If they're, let's say, growing this in like somewhere that's polluted, there could be like lead in that soil, and that's going to go into the plant. So you need to make sure that you have regulation and control, just like you would with any type of farming. So there's higher risk with what you would call bushweed versus indoor. But again,
What about strength-wise of bushweed versus indoor?
Because that's what you always hear is that like bushweed is like not as intense as something that's been like.
Yeah, you always feel like you're getting ripped off when they're like, "Oh, it's bushweed." Like if someone passes you a bag, they're like, "Oh, sorry, it's bushweed," but like, just it should be all good. I've given you a bit extra.
The extra is lead. It's the lead content.
so scientifically, there's no reason why it should be less potent. It's just harder to grow in nature in an uncontrolled environment. So it may not. It may have less THC content overall, but it just might be up to the growers themselves rather than any other factor.
Sometimes I like a bit of bushweed, you know, when I've got things to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to smoke weed and just hear, I don't know, my ears ringing.
It's called tinnitus.
You know, like I heard a cone and it's like, doo. Oh, I don't need my brain vibrating when I'm just about to go run an errand, you know?
That's so true. That's really true. Yeah, I don't know why there's like, I don't know why in my head I look at like strength as such a factor of like value. I should be looking at the strength as like volume, you know? It's like, I just want to have a quiet night. I want to have a hectic night. I don't know why I value loud noise more than the quiet.
Well, I mean, that's what, that makes sense to me,
Yeah.
you know? It's bang for buck as well, you know? And it's, I don't know, just sometimes you just want to feel an extreme feeling. High, sad, angry, you know? Feeling's a feeling.
Confused.
Paranoid. Shame. Give me that shame.
Just dread. So much dread.
Have you ever had so much THC that you thought you were like dying? Have you ever like gone way off the deep end?
Yeah, the first time I ever I smoked up, my mate, I had been told the myth that you'd never get high the first time. Like, I don't know if you remember being a teenager, but you'd actually get a high. The second time I got really high, so I said to my friend, I was like, can you just make sure that you get me high? Like, give me an amount. Like, and I didn't realize at the time what he had pulled out was just a mini bucket, and he'd filled it right to the top. And I've never had it really happen again. So I'd love to break this down. I started doing this thing where I started seeing like fly eyes. Like a fly sees many. On TV,
Yes.
Yeah.
it says like many different screens. So I started seeing that, and it was like the same image replayed like hundreds of times, like a fly. And then they all kind of pixelated, and then I started seeing the world as like pixels, and they were like very thick pixels. And then some of the pixels started swapping places. So something that I was seeing up here, I was seeing down here. And why did I have that? And how come I've never reached that again? Because it only happened one time. So it feels anecdotal, but I'm like, I haven't had nothing ever.
Surely that's just like the novelty of it. Like your brain has never experienced that before. And so your brain is trying to work it out while it's happening. But then when you do it over and over again, you sort of like, okay, this feeling is like, this is the stage of the feeling. And I don't know, you kind of have more of a roadmap. So it's just, maybe it's just, the novelty of it.
I love that hypothesis.
Yeah.
But currently untested.
Currently untested. Yada, yada, yada. Man, these motherfuckers get slang all these supplements. I can't say something about novelty. Jeez. Set me free. Okay. Well, that's my hypothesis. There's another study for you fellas scientists. When you stop being broke, you get some money to study that.
So yeah, is that the thing? Is it like I just didn't know how to process it? Is that, I don't know if that's.
It could also perhaps do with just how much you had
I had a lot.
compared to your tolerance.
Yeah, because it was the first time I ever did it, so it must have hit me like a ton of bricks. But I'm just wondering, why have I never felt that again? Or I feel like I'm talking like a heroin.
You're chasing the fly vision. Is that what you want, David? Are you okay?
People are like, yeah, like euphoric. I felt like I was in heaven, completely wasted. It's like, I was a fly.
I can see thousands of times over at one time.
Chasing that fly, man.
It was nuts. It was so nuts.
That sounds horrible to me. That sounds like I would fucking lie down and go the fuck to sleep and never talk to those friends again. How dare you ruin my life like that? Man.
Yeah, I remember
It sounds like when you get the spins, but you've just, instead of closing your eyes, you've opened your eyes wider.
My mates were like, you would come up every couple of hours and just be like, you guys enjoy this. And then I'd just pass out.
You knew, even at that stage, you knew you would never get this again. Enjoy it. Remember this moment. That's lovely.
Holy shit.
Well, there you have it, taken from the cannabis expert himself.
Yes.
Hey, the experts are still learning.
Maybe we should go and do some learning after this.
I might have learned a bit before turning up.
Conducting some studies of my own.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, David. It's been a pleasure having you and your expertise in the podcast today. Just a quick disclaimer before we end everything. We're not trying to promote cannabis use here, especially with there are studies that show that it may not be the best thing for heavy use in adolescents, for instance.
Yes.
So just want to reiterate, make sure that your brain is adult before you try to do adult things.
Yes, and there are actually studies that show that pretty clearly, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
I didn't start smoking bud till I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah, same as me. Yeah. And I think that's anecdotally, of course, is that I think people who have like a better relationship with weed are people who smoked when they were older as well. So that's what I tell my kid. Hey, just wait, man.
And every day I'm trying to quit.
Okay.
How'd that work tonight? Great. Well, party on.
Party on, brother. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.